firing the bat signal. And, you know, we put the image up at the end of the bat signal, and it's Trump. But we have to think of a symbol that Trump's firing up there. He's actually firing that symbol up there and asking for the American flag, which symbolizes the American people and our history and our future together. Trump's asking for our help. He's saying this might be the last time you see me for a while. What does that mean? Guess we'll see him again in heaven. We'll see him again after they let him out of prison. You'll see on the other side of the veil after they put a bullet in his head. This is the real world. We're not in normal times, ladies and gentlemen. We're locked down under a giant hoax that the UN commands. And local grocery stores tell women, you wear your mask or get out. The UN says. They didn't send blue helmets. They sent Tony Fauci and Bill Gates. Here's what the president had to say one more time.
So I have a lot of enemies out there. This may be the last time you'll see me for a while. A lot of very, very rich enemies, but they are not happy with what I'm doing. But I figure we have one chance to do it, and no other president's going to do what I do. No other president would do a favored nations, a rebate, a buy from other nations at much less cost. Nobody. And there are a lot of unhappy people, and they're very rich people, and they're very unhappy.
So we're going to have more of this key speech and press conference he gave yesterday coming up on the other side. But I think you might want to raise the alarm like Paul Revere and take the live feed from Infowars.com or band.video or newswars.com, newswars.com/show, and explain that there's an active coup against the president we elected because he's reversing the sellout of you and your family. Because if you like the lockdown we're under, understand it was always planned whether Trump got in or not. They intend to intensify it, and CNN says it's never going to end. And they're going to shut down every mom and pop business and every farm in this country and send communists into your town to run your life. If you're receiving this transmission, my friends, you are the resistance. Thank you for joining us on this live August 7th, 2020 transmission with 87 days out from this election that the Democrats don't intend to have. Biden is a placeholder. They don't intend to have the debates. They don't intend to have any of it. They intend to remove Trump beforehand. Now, they said they were going to not let the delegates seat him on January 20th, 2017. And Nancy Pelosi's daughter was running an operation, and they were unable to get that done. So they may fail. They probably will fail. And, of course, they tried to take the delegates away from him when he was winning the Republican nomination months before that. And, of course, after that, Obama came out and said he'll be gone in 90 days. That was to keep their stay-behind networks, their forces, embedded in government, competent and confident that they could stay in place, burrow in, leak false information, and remove the elected president of the United States and scuttle and steal the 2016 election. They wanted to abort it even after it had happened, even after it was out of its mother's womb, conceived in the minds of the American people and executed on Election Day, 2016. And now we know they had multiple coup attempts, and now we know they canvassed the Pentagon for officers that would lead a coup of the president. And now we've had Atlantic Monthly, Foreign Affairs, Public Affairs, Financial Times of London, LA Times, New York Times, Washington Post, Wall Street Journal, every single establishment publication talk about removing him via the 25th Amendment. Or CNN's had Clapper and Brennan on to talk about removing him outside of the 25th Amendment. And Blitzer says, what do you mean? Outside of impeachment? And they said, yeah. Just wait a few months. That was in late 2017, but they didn't have the guts to bite the bullet and do it. But now they've got the COVID lockdown to put people into a state of otherworldliness. They've got the race riots funded by Soros and the deep state and the Democrats and Obama and Hillary. And they've got Biden as a placeholder there. And they're openly talking about bringing Obama back as a VP for Hillary. You're going to see spectacular things in the next 87 days. But now, the president comes out in a speech yesterday, and he says, I have powerful enemies. They're mad that I've not done one-sided trade deals. They're mad that I'm breaking up the system, the corrupt world government that was built off American ingenuity and money and power. In 1955, the United States had 57% of world wealth, the largest middle class in the world, and it was all sold off, not to empower the third world, but to totally take it over at the same time making us weak. And so President Trump came out and said that he needs us to understand that he's taken on powerful enemies. We've got this one shot to take America back, and that it's his job and his destiny to do it, and he's not backing down, but he's letting the world know I could be killed at any time, and I won't be seeing you for a while. I won't be seeing you until the other side in heaven. You see his wife out on TV saying all things are possible through Christ. We must put our faith in Jesus. We're fighting not against flesh and blood, but against the powers of darkness. And General Flynn came out. I'm going to read this at the bottom of the hour. The article's on Infowars.com. I'm going to ask our great crew, Kit Daniels, to add a link to this article we posted last night to the live show feed so that people can go read it. General Flynn issues emergency warning. Communists are attempting to overthrow the United States under the command of Satan. And that's what it is. But you notice Mariah Carey's sister and other siblings have come out and said we were part of satanic rituals. And now they're even taking the police to where it happened. And it's very, very credible. As I told you, ladies and gentlemen, when they tried to get me to the higher levels of Hollywood, they point blank told me, we do pledge ourselves to the devil. Mark Dice had it happen to him before he was going to be given a national reality TV show with, I'll just say it, a member of Motley Crue. And he said, are you joking to the head of the company? He said, no, I'm not joking. We follow the devil. Now, do you want the $1 million? Tell me you love Lucifer. So here's the president yesterday in Ohio talking about bringing back business to the United States at the Whirlpool factory. And he fires the bat signal. He's letting you know he's done everything he can. He's done an incredible job because no one follows his orders basically under him, other than the military and the police to a certain extent. And they're under attack. And this country is in desperate, desperate, desperate straits, ladies and gentlemen. Pray for President Trump and pray that our enemies be exposed. But the good news is their blackmail, their house of cards is coming down. Major Hollywood producers have gone public. We'll tell you about this coming up, exposing the pedophile rings. Just yesterday, the producer of A Child's Voice has gone public after Amazon censored their already best-selling film. It's all coming up. But here's the president yesterday in context talking about how he's taken on the most rich and powerful people in the world. America has one chance to get back control of its destiny. Here it is.
Middlemen. I don't know who the middlemen are. I don't know. They never say middle women, so they're politically not correct. But I've heard the term middlemen for a long time. They are so wealthy. They are so wealthy. Nobody has any idea who the hell they are, what they do. They make more money than the drug companies. You know, in all fairness, at least the drug companies have to produce a product, and it has to be a good product. But the middlemen, well, the rebate that I'm doing cuts out the middlemen and it reduces costs, and the money goes back to the people purchasing the drugs. So I have a lot of enemies out there. This may be the last time you'll see me for a while. A lot of very, very rich enemies, but they are not happy with what I'm doing. But I figure we have one chance to do it, and no other president's going to do what I do. No other president would do a favored nations, a rebate, a buy from other nations at much less cost. Nobody. And there are a lot of unhappy people, and they're very rich people, and they're very unhappy. Here's my fourth promise to American workers. Beyond our medical supply chains, over the next 4 years, we will onshore millions of new manufacturing jobs across many other critical sectors that are vital to our national security and prosperity, from electronics to machine tools to shipping, aerospace, autos, and of course to iron and to steel. And we'll never forget your washers and your dryers, okay? During 8 years of the last administration. And by the way, I have to just tell you this little story, a couple of little stories, if you don't mind. Do you mind? Okay, because that's better than the other stuff, right? No, I was with somebody and they said, you know, for a dishwasher, we don't have enough water, sir. I think a lot of the people in the audience would understand what I'm saying. They don't have enough water because they put restrictors on, so you don't have any water. And I said, what is that? What is that? In most states, I mean, outside of desert areas, we have so much water we don't know what to do with it, right? A lot of states. Your state does pretty well with water, right? So they have plenty of water.
So there's the president in context explaining how we're being